Imagine opening a history book and seeing something impossible. A diagram of a working light bulb, drawn 2,000 years earlier than it should exist. Copper wiring, glass, a primitive battery, and a note in the margin that simply reads, "We captured the lightning." Now imagine what the world would look like today if an ancient civilization had unlocked electricity centuries before anyone else. Not steam, not bronze, not simple tools, but electricity, the force that powers modern civilization. To understand how dramatic this would be, you first have to understand what electricity really is. A multiplier of human capability. It amplifies whatever society already knows how to do. It accelerates progress. It turns slow cultural evolution into explosive technological leaps. So let's imagine a world where one ancient civilization, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Chinese, or perhaps an empire we barely remember, discovers a way to generate and store electrical power. Even if it were primitive, inconsistent, or small scale, the ripple effects would be enormous. The first place it shows up would be in communication. Long-distance signaling, electrified beacons, codes transmitted faster than horses could carry messages. The moment a ruler could send orders instantly across hundreds of miles, the balance of power across the ancient world would collapse. Empires wouldn't just grow, they would metastasize. Then comes medicine. Crude electric stimulation of muscles and nerves. The beginning of bioelectric studies thousands of years early. Imagine ancient physicians discovering that weak currents could restart a heart, or knock someone unconscious, or relieve pain. The first defibrillators appear not in the 20th century, but in the 2nd century. Next comes metallurgy and engineering. Electric furnaces, stronger alloys, more precise tools. Suddenly, you have machines far more advanced than anything their neighbors can imagine. Pulleys become motors. Wheels become generators. Simple mechanisms become early robotics. War changes too. Armies fight with electrified weapons, shields that deliver shock through contact, siege engines powered by early motors. And most frightening of all, the civilization with electricity can manufacture weapons faster, cheaper, and more reliably than any rival. History becomes lopsided. Wars end before they begin. Innovation accelerates not over centuries, but decades. And then we reach the philosophical shift, the part most people never think about. Electricity doesn't just change technology. It changes worldview. Ancient religions would reinterpret lightning not as a message from the gods, but as an energy source to be studied. Philosophers would ask new questions centuries early. What is energy? What is force? What rules govern nature? And can the universe be predicted? Science itself would be born earlier. Mathematics would advance earlier. Physics would advance earlier. Chemistry would advance earlier. By the Middle Ages, in our timeline a dark age, this alternate civilization might already be approaching something close to the Industrial Revolution. Not steam-powered factories, but electrically powered workshops, lighting in cities, distributed energy grids, early computers based on mechanical-electrical hybrids. Humanity would reach the modern era not in the 1800s, but perhaps in the year 800. By the time of our Renaissance, this alternate world could be exploring space, charting the planets, building telescopes far more advanced than Galileo's, launching early satellites, or even creating the world's first orbital civilizations. And here is the most interesting twist. If one ancient civilization had discovered electricity, it would not stay secret forever. Knowledge leaks, merchants travel, ideas migrate. Other cultures would adapt the technology. Some would imitate it, some would weaponize it, some would build their entire identity around resisting it. Humanity would enter an era defined not by kingdoms or empires, but by energy, a world split between those who generate power and those who depend on it. Which leads to one final question, the most important of all. If electricity had been discovered in the ancient world, would humanity today be thousands of years more advanced? Or would we have destroyed ourselves long before reaching the present?